Eat your heart out, Mr. Peanut. It's Brainsmanship.
Can you determine your own gender? Perhaps the most common reason to think that the answer is yes is that gender is supposed to be a social construct, meaning that it's a concept that society creates, accepts, shares, and/or recognizes. It's just an idea in our collective minds that gets its existence through social consensus. Society collectively defines what a man is. If gender is socially constructed, then you can determine your own gender, right? Not quite. Sometimes I think the term social construct gets thrown around a lot without much reflection. All that social construction means is that a man is whatever society thinks a man is. If society thinks men have male body parts and XY chromosomes, then that's the definition of a man. If society thinks that a man is just an individual who perceives that they are a man, then that's what a man is. So, on social construction, whether or not you can determine your own gender is up for society to decide, because society invents what gender is and how it works. I think the appeal to social construction is being way overused as a sort of cure-all to prove everything and anything. Even if gender is a social construct, what exactly follows? That gender isn't biologically determined? But society could construct it as biologically determined. Or maybe when people say gender is socially constructed, they're being dismissive of it. Maybe they're saying that it's just some made-up idea, and so they don't need to follow society's constructs and expectations about gender. Okay, but then would it follow that gender is automatically determined by the individual? No. Consider the following argument. People don't need to adhere to society's construct of gender. Therefore, a person's gender is determined by that individual. Clearly, this doesn't work. It doesn't follow that just because you have the right to not live out society's gender construct, that you are, in fact, the gender that you live out. I'm asking the question, what gender is person X? Premise 1 only tells me that person X has the right to live how they want. It's answering a different question entirely. If society constructs man as biologically determined and you don't have that biology, then you aren't a man by definition. If society's construct is that men have traits A, B, and C, but you have traits A, B, and Q, then you're embodying a different concept altogether. Some people seem to think that if gender is a social construct, then all of their wildest gender dreams will come true. In reality, if gender is a social construct, then you've just handed the keys to your gender dreams to the rest of society. That's how social construction works. Society sets the terms. Maybe when people say gender is only a social construct, they mean that gender isn't binding and you can live how you want. But money is also a social construct, and it's clearly binding if you have a debt that you need to pay. You can't just declare that you have no debt. You can't just live however you want in society and say that your debt isn't binding. Social construction by itself doesn't show that gender isn't binding because social constructs can be binding. So what's the answer to our question? Can you determine your own gender? The answer is that you can if two things happen. Gender is a social construct, and society constructed gender as being determined by the individual. Otherwise, it's not clear how social construction in and of itself shows that you can determine your own gender, so it's useless as evidence by itself. We need to combine social construction with the fact that society's construct is that gender is determined by the individual. The next two videos look at whether or not that's the case. Why aren't more people pointing this out? I don't know, but I consider it the job of my new channel, Brainsmanship, to do just that. If you're interested in finding out more about what I'm up to or how to support my efforts, please check out the channel intro video. Also, please like, subscribe, and share this video with all of the humans on Earth.